Hello. Fair warning, I'm going to intentionally make this video very raw. I'm just going to record it. It might be very rough, and apologize for that. But this is all about building this Google LM notebook related to this home services scaling report. So I'm trying to demonstrate, I don't know, 3 or 4 things at once here. First of all, the information inside of this report I think is really interesting, and I'd like to communicate this out to the world. And I think that if we think about different learning styles, some people prefer just a bullet point overview. And we probably need to start there with everybody. 60 seconds, here's what it's about. So that's an executive summary, right? In a classic written document, that executive summary at the top. Let's face it, executives are busy, and you may only want to see that part of it and nothing else that's inside. So I also think about like the 80-20 rule. You can get the 20, read the top 20% and get 80% of the value out of that. Another tactic you could use, okay, I think we used to do direct mail long ago. In a lot of those, you go all the way down to the PS, and you put the main message in the PS because that's what people read. They zip down to the bottom and just read the summary. So whether the summary is at the top or the bottom, I also believe in tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them, and then tell them what you told them. So there's this repetition thing. Anyway, what's cool about NotebookLM is I can take this content, and I think of it as like putting it in a blender, and then will come out on the other side with all of these different communication mechanisms. And whether that's the podcast, which is amazing, or the video overview, which is also amazing, the slide deck, or the infographic. And then there's also reports. So we could have a very text-heavy report. You could have an extremely visual one-page infographic. You could have a slide deck, which is a 10 or 15 page slide. There's 2 variations of slide decks that we could explore. Then you could have a video overview, and the video could either be basic or detailed, right? And that's where I am here. So there's an explainer video and a brief video. I think what I'm going to do, I might take like an hour and go through all of these, do a demonstration of all of the video stuff and all of the audio stuff, and kind of do a really deep dive on Google Notebook LM itself. And then at the end, we'll have a final product or 5 final products that we can use to send out there. So I'm going to kind of build this in real time, and we'll just see where it goes. So that's what this video is about. Let's just name the thing. So this is the Home Services Scaling Report. All right. Let's go ahead and jump right into that video overview. Oh, I just clicked go without customizing anything. I think it's going to do these defaults. It'll do explainer and an auto select, and then it doesn't have any information in here at all. So that's what you get. Let's click audio overview. We'll see what that does just out of default. We'll let that generate. And then I'm going to also do a slide deck. And let's do an infographic. That all looks good. I'm going to skip a couple of these for the moment. I do want to report. And again, we could explore a bunch of these different kinds of reports. But it came up with these suggestions. Case study. Interesting. Concept explainer. Strategic plan. That one could be very interesting. You know, I kind of skipped over something here, part of the story. Let's rewind way back to the beginning. I started this morning drinking my coffee, just sitting there thinking, and I put this prompt in there. So I opened Claude on my phone and just started talking to it about how Mike used to think a lot about LeafFilter and Tommy Mello, A1 garage doors. And my question is, what other companies have similar success models? What can we do to let's do a case study on LeafFilter and A1 and maybe a couple others, and think about what they have in common and what it takes to scale a company to billions of dollars. So that's what I asked, and then it asked me a little more. I polished this up a little bit, and then I hit go. Now, I'd like to be clear. In this, I used Opus 4.5, which is the most advanced model, and I also turned on this. If you click this, it's in the deep research. So I had research on when I ran this before. Okay, and I'm also using my marketing advisory council, which maybe it's worth taking just a moment to review that. I do lots of videos about this pattern, but this is my marketing mastermind council. So as if I have all of these guys sitting at the table with me. It knows a little bit of context about who I am, what I'm trying to do, but I've got Seth Godin, Alex Hormozy, David Ogilvy, Gary Vaynerchuk, Ryan Holiday, Mr. Beast. Can pull in others. So all of these people will, it draws on that. So this is my marketing group. And so it's like I went and asked those guys to go do this case study for me. And, using the deep research, it ended up doing this case study. And let's see. Sorry, it's a long story. I had a couple attempts, but you can see here it used 427 sources and did all of this research and came up with a couple other companies. Now, I opened this and just kind of skimmed through it, okay? But again, I can read this, but this is where I want to take this and digest it and remix it again. And here we go. So we've got this audio overview. What's this one? The infographic? Let's see what that looks like. Oh, it wants me to create a report. Okay. I'm going to do the concept explainer report. Let's see how that one goes. And we could make a couple of those. Actually, why not? Let me have it. Try the case study and the strategic plan. Let's see what those three look like. Okay. Here's our infographic. There's the facade, branded trucks and uniforms, marketing slogans, basic websites, surface level elements, easily and quickly emulated. The foundation, hard to build, high impact. Document everything in standard operating procedures. Yeah, so there's phase one. I mean, here's a 12-month roadmap to get your company to this level. Invest in systematic in-house training. Build proprietary technology. This one's very interesting. Rejected off-the-shelf software to build a custom tech stack for true agility. Now, in my book, I write about delaying that because I find that companies try to do that a little too early. They try to do that without strategy. That's the key. You've got to really have strategy and commit to it. It's easy to get wrong, but I agree that it is necessary to truly scale. Okay, so personally, I'm such a visual person. I love stuff like this, and I mean, as art, and this is just beautiful. It really gets the message across. There's your roadmap. There's the 3 things to focus on. And again, this is a synergy. It's not just LeafFilter. It's all of those companies. Let's see. This one was Facade versus Foundation. So here's understanding the facade. Yeah. The tool itself is not the solution. Deep documented process underneath. Powerful software like ServiceTitan can't deliver on its promise. Yeah. So, software is not magic. You can't just buy it. You have to implement it. Mm-hmm. The foundation. Core foundational pillars. Yep, these are the same 3 that were in the infographic. Plus number 4, KPI management. That wasn't in the infographic, but 5 core KPIs, including, now there's 3 of them. Where are the 5? I'd like to know all 5. We'll get there. Yeah. Visibility, ease of copying, extremely difficult. Mm-hmm. High long-term sustainable impact. Yeah. Documented SOPs, custom technology, intensive training programs. Yeah. How winning companies build a foundation. 2 case studies. So there's LeafFilter and A1 Garage. Yeah. Overnight successes that took years to build. Love it. Mm-hmm. The internal system was the true foundation and competitive moat. A1 Garage, scaling with manuals and metrics. 10 operational manuals, detailed every process, religiously tracking 5 core KPIs. It's not enough to write the SOP, you have to inspect it, test people on it, make sure they live in it. Shows the foundation isn't a dusty document, it's a living system that is constantly trained, tested, and enforced. You know, this makes me think of culture. Like that, those SOPs are the culture. If you just write those things up and force people to use them, without buy-in, that gets you one thing. But if you truly have buy-in, that's the goal, I guess. If they understand the why, If every employee understands the why behind these SOPs, that's where you win. They need to see the benefit in it for themselves. Anyway, build what creates value. They aren't buying clever branding. They're buying the replicable, systematized foundation that allows a business to expand into new markets with predictable consistency, predictability, reliability, replicatability. The systems are what facilitate that. So build a solid foundation first, documenting processes, training your team, tracking your data. With a solid foundation in place, then scaling the facade makes sense. Awesome. All right, so there's that report. That was this one. Here's the case study. And is this just about LeafFilter? Tell you what, I'm going to spare you from reading this entire thing. I just want to quickly take a quick browse. Introduction, starting point, counterintuitive bet, building a custom technology mode. We could have outsourced ERP, gone with Salesforce, but we needed to do it to ourselves to be as agile as we are. The pillars of scalable success: replicable office model, controlled in-house lead generation, asset-light business structure, systematic training and development. That theme comes around again. The end result, from 30 million to 1.8 billion. Build the foundation, not the facade. There it is again. All right, so that's the LeafFilter case study version. Here's this one, the playbook version, strategic plan, charting the course. Yeah, so this is similar content, but just reframed in a critical distinction, case study synthesis, LeafFilter A1, Erie Home. There's another one that's in there. So I could ask it to do a full case study on each one of those individual companies. Three-phase strategic implementation roadmap. Phase 1. Again, we already kind of saw this in the infographic, but here's a deeper dive. Field service management, core standard operating procedures. Establish a KPI dashboard. Begin tracking 5 to 7 non-negotiable metrics. So there you go. I mean, this is actionable immediately, right? Like, look at your company, ask if you have these 3 pieces in place. If you don't, there's your first 3 things in the first phase to work on. In the second phase, systematizing for optimization. So you have to have the foundational tools in place. I think that's important. Then we have performance management, recurring revenue, a service agreement program. Predictable cash flow, improves customer retention, provides valuable upsell opportunities during maintenance visits. You know, a client and I were just talking about this yesterday. it's like that gives you an excuse or a reason to continue to stay in touch and to keep that relationship going. I think this is so important. It's relationship based selling, not transactional selling. So you're not just doing the roof and you're done and you never talk to them again. It's about customer retention. It's not, they don't call it TAC. It's not transaction acquisition cost. It's customer acquisition cost. So that recurring revenue, to have the customer for life, that's the goal. Sure, you can think of it the other way, but that's the race to the bottom way of thinking of it. And that's not going to scale your business. What you want are people that will continue to do business with you. And that doesn't mean abusing them. It means serving them. You know, so to have this recurring service model, and it keeps relations going, provides upsell opportunities and referral opportunities as you keep in touch with those people. All right. Anyway, data-driven marketing. Yeah, talent acquisition. Yeah. Any of these could, we can do an additional deep dive on any of those different things. We can and should. But there's your phase 3. So this report is a great core for building out some additional exploration. High impact internal capabilities. Proprietary training engine, technology moat. Yep. And notice it says this is the first step. You have to have this in place first. That's the point I'm trying to make in my book. You can't skip this step. You gotta get your shit together first, and then you can scale. But if you just jump right to building, customizing something, it's at least potentially problematic. Okay. Promote from within. Love that. Core KPIs, 5 metrics for driving performance. Here we go. Average ticket. Conversion rate. Booking rate. Cost per lead by channel. Customer acquisition cost. All right. This is great, and this is my wheelhouse. We had a lot of arguments over this because we didn't have a clear list of these 5 things. Man, I wish we could go back and just say, these are the 5 things that are most important, and let's all have agreement across all departments. This is what Tell Me Mello did. This is what LeafFilter did. This is what all of these other companies did. We just couldn't get there, though. We had what I would describe as data silos. We had multiple departments that didn't fully understand the differences, or didn't fully understand these 5 terms. We would have arguments about conversion rates and booking rates. They would say conversion rate, but they were actually talking about booking rate. And they would write this on a report. It would say conversion rate, but they're talking about the act of booking appointments. And this ambiguous terminology, it sounds picky, it sounds nitpicky, but I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have a community understanding of what these 5 metrics are. So I don't mean that to be specifically critical of any individual. It's a phenomenon that occurs. It's natural human behavior. but we need to recognize that and overcome it. So this, here we are 25 minutes into this exercise, and I think this is one of the most important things right here. These five metrics. And somewhere else it said 5 to 7, so I might look through that a little bit. And you don't have to have these 5, but pick your 5, and figure them out. And okay, anyway, yeah. Conclusion. It's not paved with bigger marketing budgets, but with operational systemization, disciplined execution, strategic investments in foundational infrastructure. This plan provides a clear, proven playbook for achieving that transformation. The core argument is simple yet powerful. Build the engine before you press the accelerator. Love that. These companies that appear to be overnight successes, in fact, spent years meticulously building the operational foundation that competitors only see the facade of. They invested in training before hiring aggressively. They systemized their technology before expanding to new markets. They measured everything before scaling their spending. Their exponential growth was the result of this deep, unglamorous work. It is unglamorous too. It is, marketing attribution reports are boring, but it's, again, it's not my story, it's their story. In order to get what they have, let's do what they did. So focusing on building a replicable, data-driven operational engine, as outlined in this plan, the $50 million goal ceases to be an aspiration. It becomes an achievable, logical outcome of a well-executed strategy. There you go. All right. So that report's awesome. I really, really like this one, the playbook. Let's see what our slides look like. And again, I just clicked on slide deck. I think this is, by default, it gives you the detailed one. We'll go through that here in just a second. But before I do, I'm going to click this, and then I'm going to ask it to do the presenter slides. And let's do the short presentation. Yeah, and we could do exactly this for beginners. How about this? And I'm going to hit Windows H on my keyboard. I'm on my Windows machine, but I really like to talk to these text boxes. So let's see. Please create a high-level deck intended as a supplement for a social media video for beginners to explain the high-level outcomes of this study. That probably could have been a little better, but there you go. So let's see what we get. Okay. While that's generating, let's take a look at this is the explainer default one. And for me, I really like using this for like a LinkedIn carousel or something like that. So if somebody's visual, they can flip through here, but there's still a lot of detail on each slide. You would not want to use this for an actual presentation necessarily, because there's too many words on the screen, and that just violates a presenting principle. So that's why we need the other one too. So again, This one I would use for self-service presentation. Yeah. The Facade. And there's a direct quote from Tommy Mello. Awesome. Building on sand. The real engine of growth. Hard to build, high impact. Yeah. 300 to 500 pages of SOPs. And so here's a little bit of a tangent. Man, if AI is good for anything, it's good for that. To help you through the process of writing your SOPs. I would go through department by department and role by role and organize that effort in a collaborative way. And there are many software things that are available to do this. I have a couple ideas on how I would go about that. Some ranging from third-party software that's really built for that, although expensive, potentially. And there's some friction with using that as well. Down to, I have a couple methods that I would use for capturing and compiling that information, but you need an SOP system. Also, to maintain those, so there will be changes to those SOPs over time. Okay. Yeah, training, ongoing certification, ongoing education for every department, for sure. Daily KPI reviews, proprietary or deeply customized technology. Disciplined financial controls. Yeah. So those 5, we could come back and talk about this slide for an hour. But there's your top 5. Yeah. Again, I made this point in my book. I think I said in the book that it's about 5 million is when you're ready for this. You might be ready earlier, but what you don't want is to get so distracted in building this that you ignore all of the other stuff over here. If you're too focused on what your website looks like, then you'll miss building the systems under the hood that are necessary. The systems are more important than the technology. Like, there's still this how in between these things. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm not. Yeah. Once again, we could talk for hours about the difference between these two choices right here, but I completely agree that it's something to discuss. Especially today with the development tools that we have today. In other words, it's becoming there's less and less of a barrier for this foundation or for your proprietary stuff. Although there are still barriers and they're just different. It's a big commitment though. Okay, that's enough. A1's playbook, technology integration, process documentation. Mm-hmm. Love it. Now, I wonder if this process right here is the actual A1 process, or if that's just kind of an example implementation. I would have to think about that one a little more. By the way, I noticed there's one, I haven't seen a misspelled word in like any of these things. But here's one little snafu. But man, tell me this output isn't like 99%. Just awesome. 5 KPIs. Boy, look at that blue box there at the end. A company with poor operations spending 27% of revenue on marketing could spend just 8.7% with an optimized booking rate, conversion, and ticket average. Man. Yeah, 27 to 8.7%. That's roughly a third, right? A third of the cost, which means if you spend $100,000, you should get 3x growth out of that just from your optimization there. And again, there's a fine line between pre-optimization and measuring the right KPIs, okay? But these 5, I think of the lemonade stand or the pizza shop or whatever. These are industry agnostic, right? All home services. Again, you can track these, and if you don't know these 5 numbers, and again, we had so many conversations about what these numbers actually were, or where they came from. Gotta get this right. What a great slide! It's beautiful. Foundation of people. They manufacture great technicians through rigorous systematic training. Love it. A1 Garage and LeafFilter. Oh, it's beautiful. What a beautiful slide. All right, so there's all 4 of these different, and this is what I asked this thing to do, 5 common threads. Recurring revenue obsession. Proprietary technology. Training infrastructure investment. Promote from within culture. Standardization enables expansion, creating a business-in-a-box model for everything from office setup to the sales process, allowing for rapid cookie-cutter growth. I want to stick on that for a minute. This is easier said than done, but it's clearly it's critical. But for every department and every role, and again, if you have a process of documenting your processes that is agile, easy to change, then, for example, if you have a front desk, somebody at the front desk, you should be able to have 2 or 3 people. And if Sally quits, Susie can come in and quickly train, not in a matter of 12 weeks, but she should be able to quickly get to her job description. And we should be able to remove as much friction as possible for that, so that Susie behaves exactly like Sally did. And then if you have multiple locations, and Susie works over here and Billy works over here as the front desk receptionist, then Susie and Billy should be saying the same thing when they answer the phone, right? And then when we implement a new system or something, then we need a way to get that message out to Susie and Billy and to retrain them, right? So that that experience is the same. And this is like, it's like franchising 101. Any Subway that you go to, the order at the counter is the same. You order on the left, and then you get your sub over on the right. And they've got the chips, and they've got the drink, and the combos are the same. And there might be a little bit of regional variation, but for the most part, that customer experience is the same. It's the same logo. They have the same hat. They say the same things. The process is the same, and the product is the same. And even if you have just a one-person organization or a small organization, 3 or 5 people or whatever, even if you're just getting started at what I call the earlier stages, that process documentation it's important. It's really important. Okay. Yeah. PE firms aren't looking for companies with great marketing. They're hunting for companies with operationally systematized, replicable platforms. They buy the foundation, not the facade. How beautiful is that? The investment funds, the infrastructure, not clever marketing. That's what PE is buying. Well, again, I could go for another hour just on this slide. And now I want to go research PE capital firms and validate these statements that are on here. But it's awesome. Top tier platform migration. Digital marketing at scale. Management upgrades. Workforce investment. 20% technician pay increase. Average first year post-acquisition increase. That's amazing. All right. That's some good stuff. Yeah, I'm less familiar with these two companies here, but that's what this whole process is about for me, discovering things like this. So I want to spend another hour on Wrench Group and another hour on Aptiv. So Wrench Group, pour jet fuel on an already raging fire. Acquire successful, well-run businesses. Let brands keep their names. Decentralized approach. Centralize only the key enablers. Successfully launch 7 new markets from scratch. And on the right, build a powerful, united, centralized culture. Operational system designed to attract talent. Culture must be built, budgeted, and operationalized. All right, both approaches work. They respect existing systems or intentionally build new ones. The common thread is systematic thinking about culture, not leaving it to chance. Beautiful. For a roofing company or similar trade, move from a reactive, founder-dependent model to a process-driven, scalable business. Begin with documenting what exists. Every process, every role, every standard. There's the playbook.
Jack, if you poop, you need to wash your hands.
Sorry about that in the background. It's true, though. Do you need to wash your hands every time?
You didn't wipe your butt? Buddy.
Amanda, I'm recording. Could you do that somewhere other than outside this door, please?
Well, I'm cleaning the floor.
All right, thank you.
I'm not going to be saying that right then and there.
Don't skip. That's real life, baby. All right, phase 1. Implement a field service management platform. Proper implementation, not just features. I love that. Training matters more than the tool. 100%. And my mind on that first bullet point there, keep it as simple as possible. I just cannot stress that enough. If you engineer a dependency on the fanciest feature you can think of in that tool, something's wrong. We need to make sure the foundation is right. You know, I was talking with a client yesterday. I won't drop the name of the CRM, but they were saying that the CRM was great because it did this and that. It has this marketing automation thing and it sends the text messages and it's that's great. But then he said, but I don't trust the data. I don't, and I'm like, back to slide 1, the lemonade stand. You've got to have those 5 KPIs. That's an absolute requirement. And if, I guess it's point number 3 on here. But if that's not possible in your CRM, you need a different CRM. Or you need another layer around that CRM so that this KPI dashboard is always there. This is mission critical. Anyway. So yeah, there you go. Don't skip proper software implementation. Yeah. Measure KPIs. Act on the data. I'm going to try and speed up through the rest of this slide deck here so we can look at the other ones. Phase 2 and 3, optimizing and scaling. Technician scorecards. Yeah. Phase 3. Yeah. Awesome. Facade is what competitors see. The foundation is what creates value. Love it. That's it. All right. So, I mean, I would give that an A. A plus. I love it. You know, there were like 2 words on there that were wrong, but I mean, it's amazing. And how many hours does it take to create these types of presentations manually? I'm just going to buzz through these real quick, but it's a lot of the same information. It's just reformatted a different way. This is for a presentation, so we could have some, you know, design some words that go under this. Yeah. Foundation. Yeah. Know the score. In-house university. Yes. Promote from within. Proprietary technology. Awesome. Yeah. I am probably going to do a video just on this. I'll make another video that just reports, you know, I'll use this and talk over it. 9 slides. So the other one was 15 and had a lot more detail. This one is a lot more high level and is meant, yeah, just to be a high level one. So that's awesome. And then there's the video. And then there's the podcast. Let's see.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
The podcast is 15 minutes. I'm not going to go through it right now. But the video, this one was 6 minutes. And again, just like we could customize the slide deck, you could click on the video and have it do an explainer or a brief. You know, please make this a 2-minute overview of the material. Super short executive summary that we can use as a short. Please make it portrait aspect ratio so we can easily post it to mobile friendly social media. Let's see if that works. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Let's try this one. We'll just see. See what happens. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. You know, so it's been an hour of exploring these and looking at the content itself, but man, if you're watching this, if you're still hanging in here with me, I guess looking back, this entire video is about exploring the NotebookLM. You know, you can feed it information, and then the output that's over here, you can get all kinds of different results. Man, there's so much more we didn't even talk about. The flashcards, the quiz. It's a great learning tool, but I guess for this, you know, I had that report that I got from Claude in the beginning, right? And you can just read the report, but man, how great is it to put it in like that slide deck? That's one of my favorites about what I saw here. But this one is great. And again, these videos are fantastic too, as well as the interactive podcasts. It's just, I'll probably pop this podcast in the next time that I drive somewhere later this afternoon. You know, I've got NotebookLM on my phone, so I'll open it up, go into here, and hit play. It's two or three clicks, and I'm there. And then I can listen to that instead of just listening to junk on the radio. So that's it. I'll go ahead and disconnect now. I hope you got something out of this. And I hope you use Google NotebookLM. And if you're in the home services industry and you happen to have stumbled upon this whole thing, I would love to help you with your situation, help you scale your company, and use any pieces and parts of all of this. I would. It's fun. It's genuinely fun for me. So, put me in, Coach. That's it. See you next time.